about it as it's solving a gap in this woman's life. And we've even realized that it's beyond clothing at all, right? So a lot of people will come to me and they'll say, why would I buy sleepwear? Why would I spend $100 and something on a pair of pants when I can wear my sweats around the house? And it's sort of interesting because what we've realized is it's not a story about why you need to buy sleepwear. It's a story about you being worth it. And I think for us as a brand, we've had to really reimagine our purpose in a woman's life to being a lot more about that story, which is about letting women go, hey, you feel fine buying that $250 cocktail dress that you're going to wear 2 times out of the house because that's for other people. But you won't invest in something that's going to make you feel better every single day. Sort of like take a hard look at that. And so as a company, we've realized that, you know what, maybe our mission goes way beyond just sleepwear. Maybe it's much more about helping this woman to feel worth it, and that it's not just about other people. It's about how she feels. You start to, let me go back to in the early days when you're all sort of doing everything, every morning you wake up going, do I really want to do this? Should I be doing this? Is there anybody that really wants this product? Is there potential here? You basically are questioning yourself all the time. And then for the team, the small team that you have to be like gung-ho, like we're going to win, it's going to be incredible. But those moments of self-doubt that you wake up with and you sleep with every single night are hard to overcome. I would say, that's like that pushing the heavy ball up the hill. Once you begin to build a team and other people feel inspired by the vision and they can begin to make it their own and add expertise in their area, the ball really gets rolling. And then you don't have those moments where you wake up so much going, am I doing the right thing? Am I not? Like, I don't have that thought. I haven't had that thought in a long time. And I think that's like 1,000,000 pounds off your shoulder to be like, yes, there's potential here. I'm an incredible team. If anybody's going to be able to do this, it's this team. Having that sort of mindset it's been like 1,000 pounds off my shoulder. No idea where to even start. I think the thing that really made a difference for me was I started putting it out into the universe, like talking to my friends. I'm like sort of active on Facebook and I'm always asking questions of people. And what's amazing is how generous people who care about you are. They like want to support you and they want to see you win. And for me, there was a clothing store I went to a lot. This is so dumb, but I went to there a lot and I was like, yeah, when we were just talking, like, what are you doing? And I was telling her, I think I'm going to start this business, or I have this idea to do it. She knew buyers. And so she'd be like, why don't you talk to this girl? And she may be able to connect you. And so I always said yes to every connection everybody gave me. And sometimes it'd be like the connection that would be helpful. But I really always tried to say yes to them, and people were so generous with me. And so, it really started at ground level. Like,
another thing is, I think to identify your target customer incredibly specifically. So we've literally named her. She has a name, she has an age, and people stress out about that because they go, oh, well, I also have a customer that's 50 and I have a customer that's 22, and you go, right, but like you can't speak to everybody. So you pick a person that you think is relatively representative, that 50-year-old is going to totally connect with maybe, and that 22-year-old. Figure out what is the essence of what you're selling and how does the customer connect to that. And I do think that allows you to have like a unifying thread throughout your paid ads, your brand, your online brand experience, and your tone, everything that you're doing. So I also think like doing that work early on, so you don't just jump into this and then have to work backwards, can be really helpful. Identify, what age is she, or he, or, whatever your customer is, what's their age, what is their, what kind of activities do they like, what other brands do they shop, do they live in a metropolitan area or a rural area, just like where you get so specific, because it enables your creative team, your conversion team, your product development team, everybody to be really clear and follow that sort of same thematic through line.
It's almost seemingly overnight success because I've now, they raise a bunch of money and they're really big right away. And I think that's definitely a way that people are, make businesses successful. I think they can raise a lot of money and blow it out fast. that hasn't been my path because that's not really how I'm wired. So it's interesting because I'm like, I've also then come to learn that there's a real advantage to that. So I think everybody sort of has their own speed and cadence that works for them. For me, this has been fun because I've been able to grow slowly and make mistakes without being super public. You have a problem with a product, let's say, and you made 200 of them. It's certainly a lot easier to email the 200 people that bought it and apologize for the product being bad and try to make it right for them than if I have a huge if I made a huge investment, I bought 200,000 of that product. I try to make mistakes small.
But I do feel self-awareness is really helpful. I just heard recently one of my employees one of my managers was saying that one of the girls on her team came to her in her review with a list of things that she was going to improve on. And I'm saying this as advice to everybody who's working for somebody else. Oh my gosh, how amazing that is. If I don't have to sit here and list off the things that you need to work on, and instead you show up and you tell me things you want to work on, that's somebody who's going to go somewhere because you're self-aware, your growth mindset. It's like you're easy to manage because I don't have to, it's not like, oh, this is going to be this most awkward conversation. Incredible. So that's really something that I think just a good takeaway if you work for somebody else. Show up, own your areas of weakness, and give me your plan to success,
I was an equestrian early on and an athlete all my life. And I think that, that act of continually pushing yourself to your edge, whether physically, emotionally, mentally, and then recognizing that you can overcome that edge, that is where confidence is born. It's born in the overcoming. And when you learn that you can overcome, that applies to everything in your life, And so for me, doesn't mean that tomorrow's not going to be a really hard day. I don't know what I'm doing, and that nobody knows what they're doing because it hasn't been written yet. I haven't solved that problem yet, but I've done it enough now that I'll figure it out. And I have that kind of confidence in myself of just I'll figure it out. And if I can't do it, I'll find somebody that can. And I think that you get to a certain place with yourself where you push yourself through enough challenges and you can say that.